All right, get ready to crack that whip, because today we're diving deep into Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Deep dive is right. We're talking everything we could find. Articles, trailers, you name it.
Exactly. By the end of this, you'll be dropping indie knowledge like a pro.
We're going way beyond the typical game review here.
Oh yeah, historical context, gameplay, and of course.
That mysterious Great Circle.
Okay, so set the scene for us. It's 1937, right, between Raiders and Last Crusade.
Yep. 1937, the world's a powder keg, tensions are rising.
Ripe for adventure. But what's happening specifically that makes this Great Circle so important and now W?
Well, think about it. The Nazis are on the rise, and they've got this thing for occult artifacts, ancient power.
So if they think something like the Great Circle is real,
They're going to be all over it.
so what is this Great Circle? Some MacGuffin to chase after.
From what we've gathered, it seems to be more than just some object. We're talking locations, maybe artifacts, all connected somehow.
Connected how? The developers are being pretty vague.
There's talk about spirituality, human consciousness, even the fate of the world being tied to it.
Oh, okay. So not your typical treasure hunt then.
Not at all. This is something bigger, potentially world-altering even.
But if it's not just an object, why would the Nazis even want it?
Good question. Maybe they misunderstand it completely, looking for power in the wrong places.
Or maybe?
Or maybe there's a way to corrupt that power, use it for their own ends.
Now that's an Indiana Jones story. And to unravel it all,
We're going on a trip.
Rome, Thailand, Egypt, Shanghai, the Himalayas. It's like a travel brochure of awesome.
Each place adds another layer to the mystery.
Okay, but break it down for us. How does each location actually tie into this Great Circle thing and all this talk of spirituality?
Well, let's start with the Vatican. Ancient secrets, religious power.
You're thinking clash between faith and these older beliefs.
Could be. Then you've got Thailand. Think hidden temples, lost spiritual practices.
Maybe even some ancient cults.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm seeing the pattern here. Each place isn't just pretty scenery, it's part of the puzzle.
Exactly. And the best part is,
We're not just watching this unfold. We're playing it.
and you're not just playing any character.
We're Indiana Jones.
First-person perspective. You are indie.
Talk about immersive. That changes everything. So how does the gameplay actually work? Is it all whip-cracking action, or is there more to it?
It's a mix. They're taking inspiration from games like Kingdom Come, Deliverance. So yeah, there's combat.
But it's more than just brawling.
You gotta be clever, resourceful. That whip is key, both for fighting and puzzle solving.
I can already picture myself swinging across some chasm, snatching a treasure with the whip.
That's the spirit. And there are RPG elements too, so
Wait, RPG? So we're not just following a set path.
you're shaping indie as you play. Upgrading skills, specializing. Do you want to be a stealth master or go in guns blazing? It's up to you.
This is awesome.
Hmm.
But no indie adventure is complete without the people he meets along the way, right?
And they've got a great cast lined up. For starters, Troy Baker is voicing Indy himself.
No way, Troy Baker. He's been in everything. The Last of Us, BioShock.
He's known for his range, really getting into a character's head.
So will he sound like himself or more like Harrison Ford?
We'll have to wait and see. Then there's Alessandra Mastronardi as Gina Lombardi,
Gina Lombardi, right? She's that reporter, yeah.
described as curious. So ally, rival treasure hunter, maybe even a little romance. Who knows?
Okay, keeping us on our toes. Now, what about the villains? Who's Indy up against this time?
We've got Emmerich Voss, voiced by Marios Gavrilis. Not much info on him yet, but he's described as a real threat.
Okay, so classic Indy villain then.
Yeah.
Smart, dangerous.
Definitely. And then there's Locus, voiced by Tony Todd,
Wait, Tony Todd. As in the voice of Candyman.
the one and only. Sadly, this was one of his last roles before he passed away.
Wow, that has a whole other layer to it. So we've got intrigue, great characters, but who's actually making this game?
It's a team effort. Machine Games is developing it with Bethesda Publishing and Lucasfilm overseeing everything.
Machine Games, huh? They did the new Wolfenstein games, right? Those were intense.
Exactly. So they know action. Bethesda has the resources to make a huge immersive world.
And Lucasfilm's there to make sure it feels like Indiana Jones.
Couldn't ask for a better combo. And it's all running on the id Tech engine.
id Tech. For those of us who aren't tech wizards, what does that mean?
Think stunning visuals, realistic environments, super smooth gameplay. This is going to be beautiful and fun to play.
Okay, I am officially hyped. Amazing locations, immersive gameplay, top-tier voice acting.
Mhm.
And they haven't skimped on the story either.
This isn't just a cash grab on the name. They're really trying to tell a good story.
And it's coming out soon, right?
December 9th for PC and Xbox.
Mark your calendars, folks. But there's one thing I keep coming back to.
What's that?
All this talk of spirituality, consciousness. What if this great circle isn't just some object?
What if it's something more?
Exactly. Like a doorway to another level of reality
Or maybe it's all a metaphor, the Great Circle as a symbol of interconnectedness, or something like that.
Okay, now we're really getting deep.
It's Indiana Jones meets philosophy.
I love it. But before we go full-on existential, let's take a closer look at the characters themselves.
Starting with the man in the fedora, you're in the Vatican, right? Surrounded by all these ancient texts, powerful figures.
Ooh, yeah, the Vatican. Lots of potential there.
It's not just finding clues here, it's navigating the politics, the secrets.
Secret societies, maybe? A Vatican conspiracy? Come on, that's classic indie.
Exactly. Then you've got Thailand, jungles, hidden temples.
This is where we get that ancient lost civilization vibe, right?
There's definitely a hint of something older, maybe even dangerous, lurking in those shadows.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. We're not just dealing with greedy collectors or rival archaeologists here.
It's like there's something supernatural at play, something we don't fully understand.
Raiders of the Lost Ark meets Lovecraft. Sign me up. And of course, we can't forget Egypt. What's Indy doing amongst those pyramids?
Oh, you know it's got to be tombs and curses and all that good stuff.
Descending into the Great Pyramid, deciphering hieroglyphs, maybe even running from a mummy or two.
Classic Indiana Jones. But then we go from ancient Egypt to
1930 Shanghai. A city on the edge. What kind of trouble is Indy get into there?
I think spies, gangsters, that whole film noir vibe.
I can picture it now. Indy in a tux, infiltrating some high-stakes auction.
Trying to outbid a crime lord for a piece of the Great Circle.
The lights go out, a fight breaks out, Indy's swinging from the chandeliers.
See, you're getting it. And then, for a complete change of pace,
We're in the Himalayas. Talk about going from one extreme to the other.
from bustling city streets to the roof of the world.
What's Indy doing up there, though? Besides freezing, I mean.
Well, there's got to be some ancient monastery, right? Lost wisdom hidden amongst the peaks.
Maybe even Shangri-La. Okay, so we've got the locations. Amazing. Each one totally different. But I'm still curious about the gameplay itself. We know it's first person. We got to use our whip. But what else can you tell us?
One thing I really like is the focus on player choice. It's not just following a set story.
So there's branching narrative, multiple ways to solve a problem.
Exactly. Do you sneak past the guards? Talk your way out of a tough spot? Or just go in, fists flying, it's up to you.
So you're not just playing as Indy, you're kind of becoming him, making those decisions.
That's what they're going for. And you mentioned the RPG elements earlier.
Yeah, what does that actually look like in the game?
As you play, you earn experience, upgrade indie skills.
So if I want to be a whip master, taking out 3 guys with 1 flick,
You can spec into that, or maybe you're more about stealth, sneaking around. It's your choice.
I love that. What about gear and outfits? Can we customize Indy's look?
We know there's at least one outfit based on Temple of Doom, so it's safe to say there will be others.
Oh man, I gotta rock that Last Crusade look. Okay, so amazing locations, cool gameplay, we can customize Indy. Sounds like they're really going all out.
They're not skimping on anything, especially the music.
Right, the music. Gordy Hab, he's scored some huge games.
Star Wars, Battlefront, Jedi, Fallen Order. He knows how to create atmosphere.
And he's using those classic John Williams themes too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Indy without that music.
Imagine exploring a temple while the Raiders March is playing.
Goosebumps. Okay, but in all seriousness, there's this one question I can't shake.
What's that?
We've talked about the Great Circle, its connection to spirituality, all that.
Yeah.
What if it's not just some object? What if it's something more profound?
What are you thinking?
Like, what if the Great Circle is a metaphor for interconnectedness or the flow of energy in the universe? Or
Whoa, now we're getting philosophical.
it's like this game is making us think about our place in the cosmos, you know?
That's a cool way to look at it. Maybe Indiana Jones and the Great Circle isn't just an action game, it's a journey of self-discovery.
Right. It's about more than just finding the treasure, it's about finding yourself along the way.
And who better to guide us on that journey than Indiana Jones himself?
Okay, but what about Indy specifically in this game?
Hmm.
What kind of person is he at this point in his life?
Well, he's not a young buck anymore, is he?
He's seen some stuff, that's for sure.
Fighting Nazis, those ancient cults, It takes a toll.
Yeah, you gotta wonder how someone even processes all that.
Exactly. And from what we've seen, this game doesn't shy away from that. Indy's at a crossroads. He's got
Yeah.
that classic indie swagger, but there's something else there too. A weariness, maybe even a bit of disillusionment.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Can't all be fun in games, right?
Mm.
Especially when you're dealing with the fate of the world all the time.
This game seems to be exploring that. What does it mean to be Indiana Jones after all these years?
Oh, getting deep. So it's not just the external adventure, it's the internal one too.
Exactly. And then you throw Gina Lombardi into the mix.
Yeah, Gina. I'm still not sure what to make of her. The developers are being very tight-lipped about her role.
Is she there to help Indy? Or is she after the Great Circle for herself? Maybe
Yeah.
she's got some other agenda entirely.
Lots of possibilities. Which, of course, makes her even more interesting. And then we've got the villains. Emmerich Voss and... what was his name?
Locust.
Right, Locust.
Yeah.
Voiced by Tony Todd, which is just incredible casting.
Yeah, they've got a real contrast there. Voss seems like your typical power-hungry bad guy.
Wants to control the Great Circle. Use it for his own evil schemes. Yeah.
Seems that way. But Locust, he's a total wild card.
We don't know his motivations, his backstory. It's all very mysterious.
And with Tony Todd's voice, it's gonna be chillin' no matter what he's after.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it. But it's not just about the characters and the story, right?
Yeah.
It's about the people who are putting it all together.
Machine Games, Bethesda, Lucasfilm, like we said, a dream team.
And you can tell they're not just phoning it in. This isn't some lazy cash-in on the Indiana Jones name.
They're putting their hearts and souls into it. They want this to be great.
And it shows. The attention to detail, the way they've captured the look and feel of the movies.
It's like stepping into one of the films. The costumes, the sets, everything just screams Indiana Jones.
And not just the visuals either. They've got the humor, the action, that sense of adventure.
It's all there. It feels classic, but also new at the same time.
Hard to pull that off. Okay, before we wrap things up, we got to mention the music one last time.
Gordy Habe. The man is a legend.
I'm telling you, those John Williams themes mixed with Hobbs' original stuff, it's going to be epic.
Imagine that feeling of wonder, that sense of adventure, all captured in the music.
I can't wait to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
But even beyond the music, the visuals, all of that, there's this bigger idea here, right? This whole question of the Great Circle and what it represents.
It's not just an object. It's a symbol, a metaphor.
For what, though? That's the question, isn't it?
Maybe it's about our connection to something greater than ourselves.
Or the interconnectedness of all things, the flow of energy throughout the universe.
It's like this game is challenging us to think bigger, to look beyond the surface.
To go on our own journey of self-discovery alongside Indy. I love that.
It's Indiana Jones for the mind and the soul.
Well said. So, to wrap things up, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, it's an action-adventure game, yes, but it's also more than that.
It's about history, mystery, spirituality, and maybe even a little bit of philosophy thrown in there too.
It's about pushing yourself, challenging your beliefs, and finding out what you're truly made of.
And who knows, maybe we'll even learn a little something about ourselves along the way.
Sounds like a plan. So if you're ready for an adventure that will take you to the ends of the earth and the depths of your own soul,
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle arrives December 9th on PC and Xbox.
don't miss it. And until next time, this is The Deep Dive, signing off.